Hey, what's up, Dan? This won't be a quick demo video for you, but it'll be a full-length feature. I've got two sabers for you, both from KY Sabers. You've got the Starkiller here, and I believe this is their version of the Jedi Killer. Um, and I might be misnaming that, and if I am, I apologize. But they're both installed with Proffies. They both have crystal chambers. We're going to go over this one first, and then we'll go over to the Starkiller one, the Starkiller variant. They both have CC Sabers in there for your main PCB. You've got the crystal in here that KY provided, and then they're 2-button setups. So your front switch over here, that'll be your activation, and then your back switch, that's your auxiliary. To get to your chassis, you have to take this screw out right here. So that's what we'll do. Just a few turns, it comes right out, and slides right out just like that. And then here's your chassis. So the chassis that I made is encased in the metal sleeve, obviously, so you can't see most of it. But what you can see is your board here, so that your Proffie board, and you've got a removable battery setup. So your spring side is going to be over here, and we'll go over that in a second. Your chassis retention screw is this grub screw right here off to the side, right there. So if you ever need to move this chassis forward, you can. I don't think you'll ever need to, though, because I made it to where you can take your SD card out from here and you can plug into your micro USB from here. You never have to move this. There is not a whole lot of space in the sleeve to make everything happen here, and this board is super close to the inside, to the inside metal of this saber. So close. In fact, those solder joints I have on the back of the board, I mean, they're just like half a millimeter away from the metal. Everything is working like it should. It's not touching any metal, but I did adhese the board down to the chassis because it's so close, and I didn't want the board popping up and shorting out or anything like that. So yeah, it is adhesed down to the chassis, but you can get to everything from right here, no problem. And actually, that is how I programmed the saber, so I know that it's possible. Your battery goes in and out of here, no problem. So I'm almost positive that's why he cut this out, right? So this is the size of a battery, and then this one up here is shorter for a board, and everything worked out perfect. The last time I did one of these, I did a removable chassis, but I went static on this one so that I could wire your crystal independently. And yeah, so basically you can program it. You can program it to do whatever you want. I've got the stock font package on here for now, but I did add motion controls. And then on the first sound font, I did make your crystal pulse, just so that I could show you that it is in fact wired independently. But on the rest of the sound fonts, they'll just mimic the blade for now, until you get in there and do your thing. And they're both set up identically, and they both have a copy of the config file that I use on each of the SD cards, right? So let's throw a battery in here. Just like that. You got your crystal pulsing here. We're going to go ahead and put this handle on. So we got the handle screwed in. You got your crystal chamber pulsing, and then you got motion controls. So now your LEDs are looking really good. These things are super loud. I forgot to say it, but they both have 28mm Smuggler's Outpost Elite speakers in them, right? So you could twist off like I just did, or come over here and hit activation. Auxiliary. And then tap it again to turn it off, just like that. You have one blade retention on this guy. Yeah, just the one. It's this small guy right here. All right, so we're gonna throw a blade in here. This takes a 1-inch diameter needle-pixel blade, or actually they both do. And then I'm just gonna tighten this down with my hand for now. Good smooth swing. Tapping for blaster bolt deflex. I did put battle mode on here. So of course, if you hit the blade or the saber, you'll get blade lockup. You are also going to see that lockup in your crystal chamber. Just like that. And it'll stay like that until you pull away from it. And then we'll just go to the next sound font.
Smooth Jedi.
And then remember I said on the rest of these, the crystal will just match your blade. I'm sure you'll get in here and do whatever you want with the config. That first one was just to show you how the crystal was wired independently.
Smooth gray.
Nice fire blade. You can see it really well in your crystal. So even though this crystal is tinted like a light purple, it lights up well with each color. As you can see right there. I'm going to do another one.
Smooth fuzz.
I'm being kind of careful because I only hand cranked this blade retention. In all actuality, you should probably use an Allen key because hand cranking on this guy is not going to get it very tight, and the blade is not super tight in the blade socket, which isn't a big deal. It just means you should crank even harder on your blade retention, right? So we're going to go ahead and go through taking the battery out on this guy, which is the same way we put it in. We'll take that screw out of the handle real quick. Pop this off. And then it's a tight fit in here, so you'll probably need a tool. This isn't something you'll be able to get with your finger right away. Over time, you will. You just come in here with like a flathead, something like this, and just pop it out just like this. And it'll come right out. And then that's pretty much this saber. We're going to put this back together real quick, and then we can move on to the Starkiller. Now your Starkiller right here. So even though these look very different, they're both set up exactly the same. They both have 2-button setups. Front switch being your activation over here. Back switch your auxiliary. You've got CC sabers in here still. You've got the crystal chamber. What else? Your blade retention. You have 2 different blade retentions on this guy. I don't think that you need to use both of them. I'm just going to use one to demo. But you've got one right here, and then you've got another one right here. So I'm just going to leave the one backed out. This also has to have this screw come out right here in order to get to the chassis. So that's what we're going to do. Now I had to make a new hole in this particular saber, which is weird because I've done one of their Starkillers before. I've actually done 2, I think, and I've never had to do this before. And this is the same exact chassis that I used for them. But this original hole up here was where this handle got locked into. But when you put it there, there was not enough room for the speaker. So what I did is I came down right below it, right here, and I drilled and tapped another hole so that you could lock this handle down. It would come over there to that bottom hole, but you never even see that top one. Just like that. You see that right there. So there's enough room for the speaker. All right, that's what I did there. You've got a 28mm Smuggler's Outpost speaker in here too. Here's your Proffie board right here, so you can see this one a little bit better. Just a press fit down into the shelf on this one, but it's extremely tight, so it's not going anywhere on you. To get to your SD card here, just take a pair of tweezers or something on the corner of the board, pop it up diagonally just enough to get to your SD card, put on the fonts or whatever you need to do, and then snap it back down into place, and that thing will hold on you, very tough. And then you've got a removable battery set up for this guy as well, so spring side over here. We'll put a battery in this guy. This is pulsing as well because it's set up exactly the same as the other saber. And we'll go ahead and screw this handle on real quick. All right, now we've got that handle screwed on. Turn this light off. Super loud. or you can hit activation. See your LEDs in there. Auxiliary. And tap it again and turn it off. Just like that. We'll throw a blade in this guy too. I didn't have that backed up out of the way. I did have to come in here and mess around with some things. I'll show you that as soon as I make sure this blade's all the way down. So, like these two pins right here and these two pins over here, I had to take them completely out, shave them down, put them back in because they were sticking into the blade socket. I had to take this greebly off here. I had to shave that down because it was sticking out in there. This one right here too was sticking out in there. And then just some of the slag from drilling those holes, I cleaned up. All right, but it still makes the blade sit in here pretty snug, which is fine. You know, still turns on. Right, you can see it right here. Now on any of these, if you want to change color, just hold down aux and hit power. And then you can just twist the saber to whatever you want. If you like that yellow, then we'll hit power. And then it'll be a yellow blade. Right? Just like that.
Smooth Jedi.
Saber has really good sound resonance.
Smooth gray.
This crystal in here is clear, and the other one was a light purple, but they both light up perfectly no matter what color you have them on.
Smooth fuzz.
Just a solid red, right? We'll take the blade out of this guy too. So, as you know, KY has a particular type of switch that they like to use, and they actually provide the switches with their sabers. On this control box here was sitting a little bit high, so I had to use the same switches because that's what the control box is modeled after. But I do have some double-sided tape underneath each of those switches so that you can actually, you know, actuate them from up top of the box. All right, so probably something that you'll never even notice, but I wanted to point it out to you just in case. So we'll take that screw out of the handle. Handle slides right off. And then if you find that you can't take it out with your finger, you can get a tool, but if you reach in there, you can get it out with your finger just like that. So, yeah, you know, those are pretty much your two sabers. Let me know if you got any questions, and if not, we'll try to get these out in the mail to you tomorrow. All right, thanks, man.